Stop scrolling. Your English glow up starts right here. Welcome to Fluent Vibe Studio. Let's speak with confidence.
Have you ever found yourself stuck, knowing what you want to say in English, but not quite able to express it? Hi, everyone. Welcome to Fluent Vibe Studio. I'm Edward, and this is the space where we turn everyday conversations into real confidence. Today's episode is going to be especially interesting because we're diving into something we all face: how to talk about ourselves naturally and confidently in English. And to make this conversation even more insightful, I'm joined by someone who brings a fresh perspective and real-life experience. Please welcome Nancy.
Thank you, Edward. It's a pleasure to be here. Hello, everyone. I'm Nancy, and I'm really glad to be part of this conversation. It's wonderful to connect with all of you, and I'm looking forward to sharing some valuable insights together today.
Absolutely. I think this is something so many people struggle with. But by the end of this episode, you'll have a much clearer idea of how to express yourself with confidence.
So let's get into it, Edward.
Okay, Nancy. So here's something interesting. Did you know that the average person spends about 70% of their conversations talking about themselves? That's a lot of self-disclosure, and it makes you wonder, how do we make those moments count, especially in English?
Oh, wow. That's a fascinating statistic. And it makes sense, right? Talking about yourself is such a natural part of connecting with others, but when you're doing it in a second language, it can feel a lot more intimidating.
Exactly. And that's why today we're diving into the art of talking about yourself in English. It's not just about learning phrases, it's about building confidence, creating connections, and even understanding the cultural nuances of self-introduction.
That's such a great point. So, where do we start? I mean, there's a lot to unpack here, from the basics of introducing yourself to more advanced ways of sharing your story.
Let's start with the absolute basics: your name. It's the first thing you usually share when you meet someone, and it sets the tone for the entire conversation. You might say something like, "Hi, my name is Edward," or just, "Hello, I'm Edward." Simple but effective.
And after your name, the next logical step is usually where you're from. You could say, "I'm from India," or "I come from Los Angeles." It's such a natural way to give the other person a bit of context about you.
Right, and what's great about mentioning where you're from is that it often leads to follow-up questions. People might ask, "Oh, what's it like there?" Or, "I've always wanted to visit. What's your favorite thing about it?" It's a great way to keep the conversation flowing.
Absolutely. And then, after your name and where you're from, the next step is usually to talk about what you do. This could be your job, your studies, or even what you're focusing on if you're not currently working or studying.
Exactly. If you're working, you might say, "I'm a doctor," like "I'm a teacher," or "I'm an engineer." Or you could say, "I work as a civil engineer," or "I work in XYZ company," like "I work in healthcare," or "I work in technology."
And if you're a student, you can say, "I'm a student," or "I'm studying." For example, "I'm studying computer science," or "I'm studying literature." And if you're in university, you can mention what year you're in, like, "I'm in my second year of university."
And if you're not currently working or studying, there are still plenty of ways to describe what you're doing. For instance, you could say, "I'm currently looking for a job," or "I'm a stay-at-home parent," or even "I'm retired." It's all about being honest and confident about where you are in life.
That's so true. And once you've covered those basics, your name, where you're from, and what you do, you can start to add more personality by talking about your interests and hobbies. This is where you can really connect with someone on a deeper level.
Oh, for sure. Sharing your interests is such a great way to find common ground. You might say, "I'm interested in singing," like "I'm interested in photography," or "I'm interested in hiking." Or you could say, "I enjoy singing," like "I enjoy reading," or "I enjoy playing video games."
And if you want to be more specific, you could say, "In my free time, I like to read a book." Like, "In my free time, I like to cook." Or, "In my free time, I like to travel." It's a great way to show a bit of your personality and make the conversation more engaging.
And speaking of personality, it's also nice to include a few adjectives that describe you. For example, "I'm an active person," like I'm a friendly person, or I'm a curious person. Or you could say, people say I'm a genius person, like people say I'm creative, or people say I'm reliable.
That's a great point, Edward. It's not just about sharing facts, it's about giving people a sense of who you are. And once you've shared a bit about yourself, it's always a good idea to ask questions about the other person. It shows that you're engaged and interested in them.
Yes, exactly, Nancy. Simple phrases like, what about you? Or how about you? Or even just, and you? Can go a long way in keeping the conversation balanced and natural.
And the beauty of this is that it works in so many situations. Whether you're meeting someone at a party, introducing yourself to a new colleague, or even chatting with someone online, these basics are universal.
And speaking of real life situations, let's bring everything together with a simple and engaging conversation. Imagine you're at a party, meeting new people, and having a great time. You walk up to someone with a smile and say the following: Hi, I am Michael. Now, let's say you're not alone. You're with your friend. This is a great opportunity to introduce someone else too. You can say, This is my friend, Mary. The other person responds warmly, Hello, Mary, I'm Mark. Nice to meet you both. You smile and continue the conversation. Nice to meet you too, Mark. Where are you from? And just like that, you've started a smooth and friendly conversation, not only introducing yourself, but also confidently introducing your friend. This is how real conversations happen: simple, natural, and welcoming.
And Mark might say, I'm from London. And you? Then Mary could reply, I'm from New York. What do you do, Mark? And Mark might say, I'm a graphic designer. I work for a small agency. How about you? Then Mary could respond, I'm a teacher. I teach English at a high school. I really enjoy it.
And then Mark might say, That sounds great. Do you have any hobbies? And Mary could say, Yes, I love to paint. And in my free time, I also enjoy going to the cinema. What about you? And Mark might reply, I'm quite into photography. I also enjoy playing soccer on weekends.
And Mary could say, Oh, soccer. That's fun. I'm not very athletic, but I admire people who are. And Mark might laugh and say, Thanks. It's good to get some exercise. See how natural that flow is? You share information, ask questions, and build a connection.
Exactly. And depending on the situation, you can adapt the conversation. Thanks. For example, if you're in a job interview, you'll want to focus more on your professional experience and skills. You might say, I have 5 years of experience in software industries. Or, I'm proficient in XYZ skill.
Right. You could also say, I'm a highly motivated and results-oriented individual. Or, I'm looking for a challenging role where I can contribute my skills and grow professionally. It's all about tailoring your introduction to the context.
For example, you can say, I hope to travel the world and experience different cultures. Or, I hope to start my own business one day. You could also say, my goal is to become a great engineer. Or, my goal is to build a successful career in my field. Talking about your goals makes your introduction more personal, meaningful, and inspiring.
Yes, and you can also share your experiences, like, I've lived in George Washington for 10 years, or I've traveled to XYZ place. For example, I've lived in Paris for 5 years, or I've traveled to Japan.
The key is to practice. The more you speak English, the more comfortable you'll become talking about yourself. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. They're a natural part of learning.
Absolutely. So let's try a quick exercise. Imagine you're introducing yourself to a new colleague. What would you say? Start with your name, where you're from, and what you do.
For example, you can say, Hello, my name is Rahul. I'm from Delhi, India, and I work as a software engineer. But don't stop there. Add a little personality to make it more memorable. You can continue with something like, In my free time, I enjoy playing cricket, exploring new places, and watching inspiring videos. See the difference? It sounds more real and much more engaging. And it's your turn. Try to create your own introduction using this simple structure. And remember, the more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
Perfect. And remember, the more you practice, the more confident you'll feel. So don't hesitate to use these phrases in real conversations.
Exactly. And with that, I think we've covered everything. Any final thoughts? Just that learning to talk about yourself is a journey, but it's so rewarding. Keep practicing, and you'll get there. Good luck. And hey, before we wrap up, a quick request. If you found this conversation helpful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, Fluent Vibes Studio, and don't forget to turn on the bell icon so you never miss any updates. Your support really means a lot.
And also introduce yourself in the comments. Tell us a little about who you are and what you do. You can keep it simple, just like we discussed in this video. It's a great way to practice, and we'll be reading your responses.
We're really looking forward to hearing your stories.
And thank you so much for being here and spending your time with us. We truly hope this conversation gave you something valuable that you can start using right away. Keep practicing, stay confident, and remember, every small step you take is progress.
Absolutely. We've got some really exciting content lined up for you. All right, that's it for today. Take care, keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next video.